is up, ladies and gentlemen? Happy football Saturday. I know that I'm as excited as anyone. And for those of you who don't know, go blue, baby. Yes, I'm excited. One of the most exciting times of the year. That's not what we're talking about today, but y'all, I just can't help being excited. I know not everybody is a college football fan, but um, your boy over here definitely is. And I am excited for the season to come. This is the time of year where things start to change a little bit here in Tampa. It is still hot as all get out. So that hasn't changed much. But, around the country, people have a ton of hope for their teams. And, their prayers are that they win a championship. And I'm here to tell you that a lot of people are going to be let down, especially if you are not a U of M fan. So, I said it out loud. All right. All right. All right. I know SEC's been whooping our tail. Ohio State's been whooping our tail. So that's just the way it works. But welcome to this live stream. Today, I am going to keep it short. I promise you, because 12:30 is kickoff for a lot of people. And we are definitely going to be involved in that. What's up, Ronnie? Pleasure, my man. Thanks for chiming in. I appreciate it. It's always nice to get the faces in the room. And hey, wherever you're watching from, let us know. I'd love to know where you're watching from specifically. Please don't hesitate to put that in the chat, y'all. I try to answer these. If you're following on one of the other platforms, LinkedIn or Facebook, if you allow StreamYard to connect with you, it'll allow me to pull you into the live chat here. Or if you're on YouTube, you can definitely be recognized as well. And I'd love to pull you in. The comments that we get and the questions a lot of the times are one of my favorite parts of doing the live stream. So I'm excited to share with you guys. And today I wanted to jump in and talk about this Gas Worx development, because I think that this is huge for Tampa. And it continues to just show the strength of the city and how investors are looking at Tampa in the long term. And I know for, a lot of my clients that call, they're like, what do you see? What's the crystal ball showing about real estate? And you guys know, like, that's very difficult to predict. If I could, I'd probably be a billionaire. But, one of the things that I do is I study the numbers, and I share those with you guys on our live streams every Saturday. And we're going to get to those numbers before we check out here today. But the thing that I always go to is, like, just recognize the fact that, when other people are willing to spend money on your city, that tells you a lot about what their beliefs are for the future of that area. So, there's a lot of development happening here in Tampa, so much that I can't cover it all. We'll be on these live streams forever. Jumping in here. Yeah. Okay. Forever. And we're not interested in doing that. So what time is the Gator game? Ronnie, I don't know. We'll have to look that up before we jump off. But yeah, man, it's like I said, it's college football Saturday. So I want to get you guys to that. Make sure we're out there. But I wanted to talk about this development and really dig into this, because I think it's pretty darn exciting. City Council voted for it unanimously, gave it the green light. And there's a lot of chatter. There's a lot of opportunity that's going to come from this. I believe they're bringing it to one of the coolest areas of Tampa. For a long time, Ybor City has been kind of known as the party district, and y'all, it definitely is, but it's very unique. There's so much history in Ybor City. It was developed in the early 1900s and was known for, ultimately for its cigar trade, and became Cigar City. And that's part of Tampa's history that I absolutely love. And you go down there and you've got the cobblestone streets and the brick buildings, and it's gorgeous. It's a really cool place. Some of the best Cuban sandwiches you'll find, literally, you can go down to the farmer's market. It's a unique place. You're walking around and there's chickens and roosters running around. It's weird, man. And it's right on the water. And this district down here, the Gas Worx district, was literally was a refinery. And this property was owned by these petroleum companies, and it's been purchased in part by Daryl Shaw, who is a local Tamponian here, who is most famously known for his Blue Pearl veterinarian clinics, really nice areas. But he's partnered with a hedge fund developers out of DC, out of the DC area. And, they're really trying to make this thing go. And this is an area that's, for all intents and purposes, it's not a great area right now. Just in terms of development, the buildings are all run down. I mean, this was an old petroleum area here. So you can imagine the roads and, the infrastructure, it's all in rough shape. And we're going to get into some of this stuff today because that's the part I love about it. It's not just, hey, we found space, we're slapping up buildings. They have really put some thought into this, a 40-acre complex, 5,000 residential units. They've allocated some for low income. They're revitalizing 1.8 miles of the city streets. That there's going to be trails. I mean, that stuff is awesome. 500,000 square feet of office space, 150,000 square feet of residential space. And we're going to get into some of these stats because I don't have them all memorized. I've been reading this every single week, just fascinated by the story, because what I think is going to happen is an area that was already up and coming. Ybor City is very well known, but it hasn't had the best reputation because there hasn't been a whole lot of reinvestment into the city outside of right downtown. There's the local pockets in the neighborhoods that are wonderful. But, in terms of new things to the city, there hasn't been a whole lot done down there. And with this revitalization of Tampa and the investment that people continue to pour into here, obviously people are looking for new opportunities, and this has surfaced as a great opportunity. And it's a really cool area to, Ybor City's, connected to Tampa Heights on the north side of downtown, and it's just, man, it gives you all the feels when you go down there. The wife and I take our kids down. We've talked about this before. You'll see people like Ybor City's not safe, and there's definitely some things that happen, y'all. Whenever you get a bunch of young people together, because you've got nightclubs and there's all those that and drugs and alcohol are involved. Let's be honest, kids are kids, man. Right? They do what they do. I was in my 20s once too. I explored things and I did things that, probably my parents wouldn't be happy with. Right. And, just know what you're dealing with. But I take our family down there all the time. We'll go down there on a Saturday. Before we go to IKEA, we'll go down to Stone Soup Company, which has one of the best, oh my God, one of the best Cubans. I would strongly encourage you to go down there. And their chili is incredible too. You'll probably never hear me say that again about any chili, but it's awesome. So I would encourage you guys to go down there and check that out because it's definitely worth the time. Yeah, there's so many, dude, but Ronnie, that's exactly where I was going. Stone Soup Company is incredible. You won't be disappointed. I will make it a point to give one Cuban sandwich recommendation over the next month. That way you guys know I'll give one a week for the next month, but Stone will not disappoint you. I would strongly encourage you to go check that out. You will not be disappointed. If you are, hit me up, dude. I'll buy your sandwich on the back end because it's awesome. You won't be disappointed. All right. So I want to share some of this with you. I want to show you guys some of the renderings they have for the development because I think that that's going to be the most beneficial thing for you guys to kind of wrap your mind around. Remember, most of these are drawings at this point, but I think that they're fabulous. So it'll kind of give you a sense for what they're trying to do to this space here. And remember, most people are trying to, well, I don't say most people, but in urban areas, we're seeing a lot of this mixed use developments, right? I don't know where you're watching from. Like I said, please leave a comment. Love to know. But we're seeing these mixed use developments where it's this idea of work, live, eat, play, like all within a few acres, right? Like where you live, you're going to have green space outside, trails, walking trails, a park, probably a community pool of some sort, then shopping and retail. So like you're going to have your grocer there as well. It might be a smaller modified version of it, but you're seeing that. And maybe some clothing and definitely, salons and just everything at your fingertips at the end of the day. Right. And I understand. I actually think it's a very attractive model of living. It also can be very compartmentalized. And I think that that's where some of the opposition will come from with it. And I completely understand, that it definitely can almost form like these cliques, but what it really does is it is attractive to a lot of young working professionals. And as you guys may or may not know, Tampa has become the unofficial tech hub of Florida, and we're attracting a lot of young working professionals. And I love it because that is the future of our city. It's the future of our area. I moved from Detroit and I love Detroit. We still sell real estate in Detroit. I have a team back home in Detroit that helps me sell real estate up there that I love. but it is just shown up on the list as the number one place where people want to move away from. And that's a shame because there's been a lot of development that has gone back into that city, but it's so detached. There's downtown and it's become so expensive that people can't really afford to live there. And then there's everywhere else. And what I love about what's happening here in Tampa is they're really trying to make sure they drive commerce by attracting talent, right? And no matter where you are, if you can attract talent, what's up, Alicia? I want to stop and say hello, sunny Arizona. It's earlier out there too, so good morning, by the way. Are you a Sun Devils fan? I'd love to know. But you're trying to attract this young talent because that is the future of your community. It's the future of your cities. It's the future of your region. And you're trying to do these things. And I'm going to jump in here in a second, start showing you guys some images and just dig into the articles a little bit. But I love that. So when developers are willing to, make the thing happen that people want most, that's when you get the biggest opportunity to grow. Like I said, this is an area that people weren't investing in. There's probably some challenges on the EPA front. When you were dealing with petroleum stuff, there's a lot of cleanup that has to go involved in it, and there's big bucks that have to go behind that stuff. But the Tampa City Council, I think, as much as the city, are very excited to have a new development that's going to come in. I mean, 5,000 residents. That is to build 5,000 houses, we're so short on homes, right? Love it. What'd you say? Sun Devil for life. There you go. All right. Well, best of luck to you guys this season. We as Wolverines, I'm going to say we're going to win, but you know how this goes. I have been disappointed many times over the last 15 years, so I can relate. But yeah, absolutely. Go Sun Devils. Thanks for letting us know, Alicia. We appreciate that. But yeah, so I love this development. I want to jump in here and show you guys some photos of this really quick. And then we're just going to talk a little bit about more about it. And then we're going to, wrap up with some numbers and you guys can go check out these games. Ronnie says he's watching from Clearwater. My man, just a couple miles north of me. I'm down in Indian Rocks Beach. So we are not far apart, my man. So let's check this out. I want to jump in here and share this stuff with you guys. Let me know where you're watching from. That'd be greatly appreciated while we're setting this up. Do the tab. Yeah, let's do the tab. So let me start with this one because I think this is really cool how it's laid out. I'm just, man, this gets me jacked when you recognize what these guys are trying to do. Okay. So pop in here. I'll give you guys the biggest screen you can get. All right. So 40 acres Gas Worx Development will connect Ybor City and Water Street in Tampa. And we're going to jump in the map too, so I can give you guys some reference on where this is going to be. I guess let's do that first. Let's pop over there, see if we can get that moved really quick. One of these days, I'll figure out how this share screen things works, where I can just bump from one spot to the other. Make it work super simple. I think that one might be the best way to go. Okay, so I want to show you where this development is. Down here in Channel Side is where this they call it the grocery store, which is going to be really cool. But this is the area that we're talking about here. It gets a little bit wider or further north here, but this is the area down in Tampa, and I'll zoom out too so you guys can get a little bit better frame of reference. So as we pull out, to the west here, you've got Tampa Bay. You can see that there, Old Tampa Bay. The Gulf beaches are, if you continue to the left, for those of you who are geographically challenged by geography, it's to the west. I'm challenged by English, as you can see. It's to the west, but you can see downtown here, you've got, Davis Island here. This is South Tampa, this area here. This is Tampa Heights we were talking about. This is East Tampa, and then Ybor is in here. Right. So like, this is where all this is happening. I'm going to wipe this out, but this area here, right where I've got this pin drop, that's probably bigger. Sorry, I'm trying to do this on the fly, but this area here is what we're talking about. This is the development area that they're trying to do. And the fact that they're going to, dig into the infrastructure, like I said, that is awesome because downtown, if you guys have not been to downtown Tampa, you are missing out. It is clean. It is, it's not a huge city. This area right downtown specifically where the financial district is, we've got some high rises, but like it's not miles and miles and miles of property. It is definitely walkable or bikeable for the most part in the city. And you just have access to so much stuff here down at the end of the city. And I want to show you all this because you got the Tampa Convention Center down here. You can see that here. You've got the Florida Aquarium, all of this, down in this area here. It gets you down to the Channel District. That's where the wharf is. I've done an entire video on that. If you guys have not seen it before, go check that out. That's where the Tampa street sign is. You got streetcars that run down there, but there's all kinds of dining options, and you can just hang out. They usually have a band playing during the day. And this channel right here is where the Norwegian ships, the cruise liners, take off. You can see the Carnival Tampa Bay port right there, right? So like this whole spot down here is just really, really cool. But there's this big disconnect between, the Channel District here and then Ybor City. There's just a big disconnect. So this is where this is going to take place, and, connecting the city back together, which I think is awesome. Okay. So what I wanted to do is show you some of the renderings. Let me get to the one I like the most. All right. So this gives you some insights, right? They're going to have this green space like we talked about before. The goal is to have this mixed use. And the way that they have this set up here is, 5,000 new residents and nearly 150,000 square foot retail development. It also calls for a 500,000 square foot office space, and developers need to include at least 325 affordable housing units, right? So Tampa City Council gave it a unanimous green light. Here's another rendering here where you can kind of see the spaces they've got it. This is the beginning space. You can see the green space. They'll have some kind of pond out there. It'll be a park. It's some pretty cool stuff. So Gas Worx will include nearly 2 miles of new streets to enhance Ybor City's street grid. Pedestrians will enjoy a 3.6 miles of new sidewalks. Y'all, when you're talking about downtown and adding sidewalks and streets, it is a very expensive endeavor. And that's the thing I always want to give people mindset or perspective on, is to understand, like, where's your city going? What if people are working this hard to attract new talent, and they're willing to put hundreds of millions of dollars in investments into an area? Do you believe that it's probably a good idea for you and your personal living needs? Well, the answer to me is yes. So, we've been out here trying to get properties under contract on the investment side in Ybor, because I'm long on this. This is going to increase the values. It's going to make the area more attractive, and it's going to bring in new talent to the area, which I love, right? And I think I discussed it earlier, but if I didn't, the average age in Tampa, the median age in Tampa is 36 years old. It is a young, vibrant city. I love that, right? I'm going to be 45 this year. I am a veteran young guy I'm holding on to that, but really I'm old dude, working my best to make that happen. But, I just love the idea that this is what's going to go on in the city. And I want to show you some other photos here that they've got rendered up. This is a great space here. This one they're calling the grocery at Gas Worx. I mean, this is a beautiful rendering. You see the arch that says Ybor City across there. And this is right at that 1400 channel side that I had pinned on the map, and you can see it again. So this right here, if you take it south, that's right where the Channel District was. That's where the Norwegian comes in, the cruise liners. I think it's awesome. But this space here is 500 residential units, 40,000 square foot grocery, 20,000 square foot of commercial lease space. So another really cool spot. I don't have an office, but this stuff gets me thinking, like, I'm ready to get my butt downtown. That gets me excited. So I love sharing this stuff with you guys. Y'all, hey, and if you're not following us on YouTube, please do that. That'd be awesome. Subscribe. That'd be great. But more importantly, connect, right? Let us know where you're watching from. I'd love sharing this stuff with you. Where is the next one? Okay, so I want to make sure I'm going through this. 5,000 new homes on a 40 acre parcel. I will slow down and get this done. And then I think I talked about Daryl Shaw a little bit about what his plans were. I wanted to find, there's one more photo in here that I wanted to share with you guys that I thought was really cool. And here's another rendering of the developments here, what they have set in place for it. That's Daryl Shaw himself. So you can learn a little bit more about him if you want to look the guy up. He's, obviously investing heavily in the city, spending a lot of resources to make that happen. Here it talks a little bit more about the details of the project, right? 5,000 residential units, 500,000 square feet of office, 140,000 retail, 60 million contribution by the developers. Estimates improvements will restore Ybor's historic city grid and build 1.8 miles of new public streets, as well as utilities, and 1.2 miles of multi-use trails, which I think is great. So this stuff is fabulous, man. So I wanted to share this with you guys because I think it's absolutely awesome. Number one, I'm excited. It continues to bring new people to the area. And what's up, Russell? Anyone watching from right down the road in Indian Shores? My man, what's going on? Big fan of the channel. I recently moved down from North Carolina. Spent a good year researching places to live, and your content was huge help. Yeah, Russell, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for the nod there as well. And yes, if you guys are looking to make that move, relocate or invest in the area, I'm a licensed real estate agent. I have a team of agents here who service clients who make that relocation. About 80% of my business is relocation here in Tampa, as opposed to back home in Detroit. So a little bit different there. We got a hi, y'all. What's up? Good afternoon. I love that. So thanks for chiming in, guys. I appreciate that. So like I said, I want to get you guys back to football Sunday as soon as possible today. So we're going to get into numbers here a little bit. I broke down all of the numbers from July last week. Again, we won't get all of August numbers solidified until middle of September. So be on the lookout for those, but I will pop up local numbers here that we have access to. And the big thing that I'm noticing out there right now is the demand is still high for what is available. Inventories are low. We're going to get into the specifics of that, but I'm going to show you just the general what's going on in the marketplace here really quick. Sounds like a cool project. I'm possibly thinking moving to Tampa myself. Yep. Yeah, man. I mean, they are working to attract bring people from the suburbs back downtown. But like I said, more importantly, I think they're focused on just trying to bring in new talent from outside of the area. So I love that. And, if you want to learn more about this area, please feel free to reach out to me and my team. My contact information is listed on every single social site I'm on. You can always go to juanalcala.com as well and connect with me that way if you guys want to learn any more about these developments, when they're planned to go up, what it's going to look like to grab a piece of retail space or commercial space for yourself. We'd be more than happy to chat that up. But let's dive into these numbers a little bit really quick so I can get you all back to your Saturday and some foosball games out there, y'all. All about those foosball games. All right, cool. So I want to bump in here and share with you. These numbers can be a little bit tricky. Let's get on the left side of the screen. For those of you that don't know, we're looking on this side over here. This is the last 7 days. This is the MLS service that I use, the multiple listing service. This gives us access to everything that real estate agents buy and sell. What this doesn't include is any for sale by owner activity as of right now. That's where those mid-month numbers come out, when they shake everything out so you guys can see everything that was recorded at the county or city levels. That's where we're waiting on. But we move a majority of the real estate in the area, less than 7% in total. United States gets moved for sale by owner or off market. So this is going to be a majority of what's happening here in the real estate. So I wanted to give you guys perspective on this, because this is the thing. If you follow us on any of the social channels, if you follow me on Instagram, I do a live, a market update every single week where I give you the week's numbers, because that will help you understand where things are trending. And that's where I wanted to show you this list here, and then we can get a little bit deeper also. But this shows what we need right now. New listings. This is how many new properties have been listed for sale in the last 7 days. This number has been going down, and this is my concern more than anything else. The industry is slowing down. You're hearing this term housing recession. And it is happening for sure. Now, housing recession, this is a very ambiguous term. It's been debated over the last few weeks. Like, what does that even mean? Because nobody can really clearly define it. That's Stella barking in the background, by the way. No one can clearly define that as of right now. But it's happening. So this is something we need to be aware of, is a slowdown. But here's what I want to show you guys. Price decreases have been pretty stable. They've been up, but they've been relatively the same percentage every single week. And now I think we're up to 40%. Over 40% of the homes listed for sale in the Tampa Bay area have been taking price decreases. Now, that does not mean that prices have gone down yet. They are starting to trend that way. So I want to give you some perspective on this, but it's not a market crash. What that is slowing of appreciation, the value of the overall sale. So where things were trending up, right now, they're starting to flatten out, if not start to decline. We had a dip in June. And then property values went back up in July. It wasn't enough to make anything worthwhile mention here, but this is what I do want to focus on, is the fact that we've got 1,191 new properties that were listed in the last 7 days. There were 1,675 price decreases. That number's been somewhere between 1,700 and 1,800. So it is down, but it's relative to the amount of listings. We had 13 to 1,400 listings that have come to the market for the last 3 to 4 weeks in a row. So that, to me, the percentage base is almost in alignment there. But here's the thing I want you guys to keep in perspective is the pending sales, because this number has been larger. The pending sales number has been larger than the new listed numbers for the last 4 weeks consecutively. So what does that mean? Well, if you can't be in a housing recession, I don't think technically. We'll get into this. I've showed this chart before of like what an actual, what the market cycles are in real estate. But what it's showing you is that we're at a deficit, right? So for every new property listed, a new home is going. There is a property going under contract. As a matter of fact, there is almost 200 more homes that are going under contract, right, than there are being listed. Well, that's sucking up demand. We're back at the point where we need more houses again because we're getting into a deficit. This cycle had changed right around the end of April and the beginning of May. We were starting to see more listings come to market than we were having pending sales, which is exactly what you need to get back to a balanced market. But that's not the case right now in Tampa. And part of that is the whole sales cycle, right? In August, actually numbers are slower. You're going to see September numbers look pretty bad nationally. And that's not abnormal. I've showed you guys the charts, like the 5-year chart, and you can see the dips every year when sales slow down. Well, August is always a slow month. People have their final vacations. They're trying to get their kids in school. They don't want to move right before they start the school year. This is very normal. So you're going to see September sales numbers be soft, and then it starts to pick back up. My phone has started ringing. I took a meeting every single day this week from someone looking to relocate to the area, wanting to move to Tampa. And that had slowed down in August, but every day this week I've taken that phone call, which is fascinating. But this is the thing that I want you guys to see so you can understand. We still have a healthy demand for real estate. Now, is it huge? I don't know, because we have such limited inventory. Right now, during the height of the pandemic, we were only getting 400 or 500 houses every 7 days, which is nowhere near enough. We literally need this number to be around 3,000 houses every 7 days in order to get this back to a balanced market, meaning that there's as many buyers and sellers in the market, which, would be utopia. Usually we're never in those type of markets, but this gives you a lot of understanding on what's happening here. And again, look at the sold number, right? So if you list 1,191 properties and you have 1,398 of them go pending, almost 1,400 homes, and then you sell 1,500 homes, you're at a deficit. So what I'm sharing with you guys is, even with all the gloom and doom, even with interest rates being high, even with the challenges we're facing in our economy currently and the uncertainty, which is the real big thing at play here. When people aren't certain, they don't take action. That's very normal. I'm the same way, right? I think most of you would find you are as well. So I just find that fascinating. Okay. So I want you guys to just kind of keep those things in perspective as we look at numbers really quick. And I'm going to do one last thing here with y'all, and then get you on to your Sunday. So I want to show sold for the month of September. For August. So you guys can see it live. And then, again, this isn't the entire numbers. We're going to be missing some things here, but this will be a majority of the properties that we're looking for. Let's just do single family residence. We're not going to do condo or townhouses or anything like that, or land, but we'll do Pinellas County. We're going to do the greater Tampa Bay area, which is just the 3 counties. For those of you that don't know, it's Pinellas County, which is where the Gulf beaches are. That's St. Pete, Clearwater. You've got Hillsborough, which is where Tampa, the city of Tampa is. Also Riverview, Brandon, Apollo Beach area. That's where you're going to find that. And then Pasco, which is one of the fastest growing counties in the entire country. You're going to find Wesley Chapel, Lando Lakes, Lutz, Lithia, Fishhawk, those areas up there. So now we're doing sold data for the entire month. There were 3,466 total sales. That's that are registered as of now into the area here. Let me pull up some stats. I want you guys to see this easiest way ever, and then we'll get you on your Saturday. What's going on here? Make sure we read these samples. I love living in Tampa. Just moved here. West Shore Yacht Club. Very nice. I wish I had found out about Juan before I moved. Me too. Me too. But it's all good. I appreciate you chiming in. But I want rental properties, so help me with that. You got it. You know where you got my contact info. And this has been a majority of the phone calls right now. I've got a lot of multifamily development investors that are reaching out. So if that's you, we play in that sandbox as well. We love helping our investor friends. But last but not least, I want to get you guys into these numbers so we can get about our Saturday here. So the average home that sold in the month of September was a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,910 square foot home in the Tampa Bay area. The average home sale was $514,000. You see the median down there is at 420. Remember, the average is actually the accumulation, and the median is right in that middle price range. So, $420,000 is the median price, the median asking price, listing price, and the median sold price, close price is 416. Now, here's the thing I want you guys to keep in mind. For the first time in almost 2 years, it's been over 2 years, the homes are selling for less than they're asking for. Celebrate with me, y'all. I don't know who's ready. Like, I get it. I get it. Homeowners, I understand. We always want to see that number going up, but it cannot continue just to be this exponential thing. It becomes affordable. At some point, people can't buy houses anymore. And we've just got to deal in reality, right? So this doesn't mean your house is worth less. Actually, year over year, you're up 18% again in July, which is awesome, y'all. Okay. And it's going to be up again in September. Year over year, you'll probably be 14%. In the last 2 years alone, if you're a Tampa Bay homeowner, you have accumulated probably 40% more equity in your home. So congratulations. That's awesome. But here's the thing I want to keep in mind. When we talk about the velocity of homes, right? Homes are still going under contract in 13 days. That's pretty incredible. The average days on market, average days was 10 if you look at the median, and 19 if you look at the average. Y'all, our homes are still moving. They are still moving. And if it's a great house, let's see here. I paid a crazy amount over asking. I hope that's true. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're going to get deeper into this. I didn't want to make today a super, philosophical or projection based opportunity in terms of conversation. But like, what I'll say is this: like, I think that this is the foreseeable future. This kind of weird, stagnant, not enough houses to sell. People still need to move in Tampa Bay. If I was living in a rural area that wasn't a destination place, I would have a little bit more concern because you've had a bunch more people move than they normally would over the last 2 years, which by definition is going to pull buyers out of the marketplace for this year. You've got a bunch of sellers who get refinanced at very, very low rates and now have no incentive to sell their home because they have a really great payment. And that locks up a lot of inventory, and that's going to be a challenge for the foreseeable future. I think the next 2 to 3 years is going to look something like this. Now, obviously, if an interest rates dip back down to all-time lows again for some reason, that could unlock a lot of inventory because people now are incentivized to sell those homes. But that also means that inflation is still going crazy, and it's probably not a good place, or we're in a recession, so that's not great either. Some challenges that we're going to have to face, but for the foreseeable future, I just believe that sales volume in real estate is going to be down as a whole. There are less people who are incentivized to move, and more people moved over the last 2 years, almost to the tune of 8 to 10% more than normal, which is an entire year of moving in the United States. 8 to 10% of people move. So on good years, it's 12%. And we had that many extra people move over the last 2 years alone. So when you think about that, there has to be some kind of balancing act, right? There has to be some kind of flattening out here. Oh, let's do that really quick, and then I'm going to shut this down. All right, well, Random question one. I'm looking for a little land with our new home. Can I get in Wesley Chapel or Lutz? Yeah, there's still vacant land opportunities, especially up in Pasco County up that way. They're becoming more and more challenging because those areas are very desirable. People want to move to those areas. I want to get you guys this last little shot here. So let's go to one of my favorite tools, Redfin, y'all. If you're not following them, they do such a good job of curating this information. But I want you to look at the U.S. housing supply. On purpose, we're looking at the stat here, and then I'm going to get you off to your Saturday. Great question, by the way. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so here's the housing supply, number of newly listed homes. You can see what I want you guys to look at is if we look over the last 5 years, these charts don't really look much different, do they? This is the thing I want you to, when we're fear-based or we're concerned or we have questions, go look at the history of people. You know, this is the history of housing, but this is the history of people. And I think if you guys will look at this, it doesn't really look that much different, right? This looks different because this was 2020. We were all freaking out, not knowing what was going on. And all of a sudden we have a spike over here. But as you can see, the peak in 2018 is not much. It's almost identical to the peak of 2019. We never quite made it there in 2020. We did make it there and we stayed there longer in 2021. And now in 2022, we still hit that peak. We're dropping back down, but this is a normal cycle, y'all. So I want you guys to just keep that in mind when you look at it and go, okay, like, do I need to be freaking out? What's happening in my local marketplace? If you go to Tampa and look at that specifically, you're going to see the same thing. Okay. The median sales price has had, you know, this increase. And obviously the last few years has been nuts. So let's go back to the last 5. You can see this 2018, we had a dip back here in 2017, prices went down, prices went up. Here's a dip. In 2019, there's a dip in 2019 from the cycle, right? When you look at those, but number of homes sold, this is the thing I want people to keep in perspective, right? 2018, these cycles look very similar. The peaks and valleys in the same spot. And then you had this huge jump here. You had this huge jump. So that demand has been sucked up into the space, right? Like people move that weren't planning on moving most likely because they got to, right? And interest rates incentivized to do that. So now we've got to deal with the other side of that, which is it's going to flatten back out, right? It has to, right? People have moved that weren't planning on moving. This is part of the sales process. And here we go. Like this is the number I was showing you, sale to list price. So finally, we are under that number. It was 2 years. I showed you guys that chart, 2 years of over asking prices on homes in Tampa. And now you see it starting to go the other way. You still have a pretty big chunk of property selling above, but it's starting to come back down. And here's the thing, when you go back and look at the 5-year, look at this chart. We're regularly under asking price, and then it took off and it's just been bananas. This is a normalization, a stabilization. Do we have challenges when you look at the headwinds? I think we do as a country, but I do believe there are places that are going to not look, you know, destination places are still going to have it. I don't know that we're going to see the same challenges that everybody else is. I also can't tell you that that's a fact. I'm just based upon the numbers and what we study every week. I think that we're in pretty good shape overall. But what I expect is that we're going to have slower sales volume for the next 2 to 3 years. And I'm banking on that. I just think appreciation is going to be much slower. And for inflation adjusted, it might be negative, but even though it's showing a 2 or 3% gain, but if inflation's still 6, 8, 10%, then all of our money is going backwards, right? So, guys, it's 12:40. I try to get you out of here by 12:30. It's college football Saturday. It's time to get out, go spend time with your family. It's the holiday weekend. Enjoy this. You know, if you're watching in a place that you're shifting into cooler weathers for the fall and winter, you know, go out and be with your family, enjoy this time together. Thanks for chiming in. You know, like I said, leave a comment if you're watching this later and let me know where you're watching it from. Hey, if you're interested in buying, selling, relocating, or investing in the Tampa Bay area, know that my team here at the True Living Group has got your back. Also, if you're in Metro Detroit, I've got a team up there. We'd love to serve you as well. And if you got any questions at all real estate related, please feel free to put them in the comments below. Also, you know, where are you watching from? Let me know that too. And you guys go out and have an outstanding weekend. Enjoy it with family and friends. Be safe out there. God bless. We'll see you on the next time.